What's up, everybody? It's me. So, wanted to talk about a few things that happened at the Bragging Rights race. A few bad things and some good stuff too. So, we'll go ahead and look at some of the logs. So, this is one from Sick Week. This is where having a little bit of oil pressure issue. So, we start off right here. Here's oil pressure. 71 on the brake. So then we leave, builds to about 80, a little bit over 80. And as you get to the 8th mile, the pressure starts going down. And then the pressure continues to go down all the way 65, 64, 63, 62. All the way to the quarter mile. Okay. So I decided I need to do something about that because I wasn't happy with that oil pressure. Too much money invested in this engine to just lose it to something silly. And I know like 60 pounds is not terrible, but it's not great either. So I did the oil pan, did a couple different designs on that, and also did the oil pump, the external oil pump for this. So get the log for Bragging Rights. This one, yeah. So this one started at, let's see where we're at, 107. That's where we're starting at. So we're already starting way better, right? So 106, 107, we leave, goes to 119, 120, 118, 116, and it still falls off a little bit, but that's obviously fine. So we are well over 100 the whole time, all the way to the end. So this is exactly what I wanted. But we have that one, right? That looks perfect. The first one I did when I got there, I put 9 quarts in the pan because I did my estimations on how much oil the pan should hold. I put 9 quarts in it. So the very first one, the pressure actually wasn't what I wanted it to be. So we start more like we did before, 74, and leave 80, 90, a little bit more than before, but the trend on this one is about the same. It starts to just slowly taper down. Not as bad as, it was with the stock style pump, but still. So I wasn't happy with this. So on the next one, I added a quart, and that's when I got exactly the oil pressure I was looking for. That was Extreme 28's Q2, the very first one for us. So that one was great. So oil pressure is perfect, in my opinion. Exactly where I wanted it. The other problem we had, and I guess this has actually been going on for a little while because of Carolina. Whenever the connector for the fuel pump wasn't plugged in correctly, I thought that was the problem. But what was actually going on was a little bit more than that. I just didn't realize it. So there is a little brushless motor in there, and it's suspended by magnets. Well, I guess it's suspended in between 2 bearings and a shaft in between the magnets that pulse it to get it to, spin. Anyways, so there's this little shaft in there, and then you have the bearings that support the shaft. Well, the bearings are hardened, obviously, but then apparently the shaft in there is not the same hardness as the bearings, so the weaker one loses. This was the weaker one. This is a metallurgy issue, in my opinion. It's an aeromotive pump. It's quite expensive for what it is. I mean, it's a 7-gallon-a-minute pump, so it's a big pump. It's like one of the biggest electric ones they have. I think the only bigger one is a 10-gallon-a-minute, but still. If you've done R&D, there's no way you don't know that this is happening. But anyways, you can send them in to get fixed for like $400 and something. I don't think I want to do that because I don't trust that pump. If I'm being honest, I had to send the injectors out to get clean because of the amount of metal. Like, this is black. This is a clean one. This is still a little bit dirty. I cleaned it with brake cleaner. You see the cellulose is like yellowish, whitish yellow. This is black, and this is actually all metal. Every bit of that black on there is metal from this little shaft just disintegrating. So, anywho, gonna figure out, gotta get a mechanical fuel pump, something around 14 gallons a minute, 15 gallons a minute, something like that. So I gotta save up some money to get that. That's our next big thing. The other thing that I was working on that didn't actually make it onto the car was a fuel filter system. So you've got these little canisters, and I bought this one from Summit. It's fine. I mean, it does fine. There's nothing special about it. It's just a canister. It has, you know, your little adapter that the filter just goes on here. There's no O-ring inside. These filters, number one, cellulose is not meant for ethanol, so I wanted to change to a stainless steel one. So I was looking. There's part numbers on this thing. I looked up the part numbers, can't find anything. I can find these, but they were out of stock. And for some reason it said that it ships next day, but when I ordered it, it said it would ship in like the next month, like May or something like that. So I ordered this one just based off of what I could see. Now obviously this is a bigger size than that, so it's not gonna work inside this canister because the filter is literally just this, about the same size as the canister itself. Like, it physically won't fit. Okay. So Brother Michael and I came up with this, which is just like a little canister deal. Weld the -8 bungs on here, top and bottom, whatever, you know, no big deal. It has the same type of design. Now this is extremely overkill. This thing can probably hold like 5,000 pounds of pressure or something crazy. The thickness on this Jackson is, anyways, too much. So this has like a tiny little step, and if you can see it right there, the O-ring slips past that so that the filter won't just pop off. So anyways, made one of these and made just a slight mistake. Just didn't think about a few minor details. Number one, this aluminum is very soft, and that poses a problem when you have any sort of debris or anything inside the thread. So here was the first one, and you can see something went wrong. Put the little O-ring on there and everything, threaded on, and noticed that it needed to cut the groove for the O-ring. On the tube side, there's an O-ring groove. There's your little O-ring groove right here. Well, that wasn't deep enough, so the O-ring was protruding, and it just couldn't get the cap to go all the way flush, right? So I went to unscrew it, and we were gonna go ahead and machine that bevel a little bit more, and then it got stuck. So apparently the threads were not perfect. There was like a burr or whatever on one of the threads, and then it just got worse and worse. Anyway, so this is permanently stuck this way unless I want to cut it open. So yeah, it's just a little bung welded on each side. You know, you got your flow that direction. A little filter just sits in there, pops in right there, and it kind of does like that. Anyways, so we weren't able to get this on the car, but I wanted to redesign a little bit, because my worst nightmare would be, say you got this anodized and everything, and it's fine, like you get it hardened, and then you have an issue like that when you're just trying to change this filter for whatever reason out in the field, you know, at the racetrack, what have you, and then this thing is non-usable. What are you gonna do? Hopefully you have a spare, but a lot of times we don't, because I'd have to make another one of these. I did have two because I wanted to run two of them, but anyways, I decided to make another one. Granted, this is just a prototype. The design is obviously very industrial, just call it that, very squared off. So this one, instead of having a screw-on flange, we'll have a threaded seal, we'll have a screw-on flange right here. So 8 bolts, quarter 20, a dash 12 out and in. I still have to clean everything up. So this plate will bolt on as is, but then this side I'm going to mill it down flat, and then I'm going to cut an O-ring groove all the way around it, so this plate will sandwich in between an O-ring groove, and then I've obviously got to weld an adapter. I'll either go with one of these and just make a little weld bung that essentially it won't be this tall, but essentially this little piece right here will weld on here, and then this filter will sit in here. But what I think I'm going to try to find is these, from what I've looked up, are pretty much just hydraulic filters. Tractor Supply sells hydraulic filters, so I'm going to go there this morning and see if I can find a little bit larger one that is something that is very easy to get, because I had a huge difficult time trying to find any filter, any information on the filters as far as like size and stuff. This is all, seems to me, it's just industrial stuff, like maybe not exactly these, but the stainless steel ones are definitely just like an industrial style hydraulic filter. So I think I can find something a little bit bigger than that that'll work. But then you have the regular body here, another dash 12 fitting on the bottom, and yeah. So if I wanted to make these for somebody else or make it look a little slicker, I could probably just do like an oval shape instead of a square, but this is perfectly fine for me. I'll probably make some sort of like a little mounting flange, so this thing will just bolt up to the firewall, and then you just service it by unbolting the 8 bolts, pulling this off, and then you can service your filter or whatever you need to do. Pretty simple, little ugly, but it definitely will do its job. So this is the second iteration of this. So I'm hopeful that that'll work. Just need to make sure that it's gonna seal as much as I need it to, according to some calculations. It should be good up to like just under 2,000 psi, as long as, you know, you don't have any deflection here in between. It's about 1 inch, 1.17, I think, in between bolt center to bolt center. So you could have some minor deflection there, but anyways, I'm not running at like 700 pounds. Maximum fuel pressure will be like 150, 160, something like that, so should never be a problem. Anywho, and thought about just either reproducing this shaft, or I had the epiphany of just, I may just weld this up and lay that back down, and then see if I can get it heat treated, hardened, because this end back here, It's just like a Y drive, whatever. I'm not sure what you would call it, triangle. I'm not sure if that's a standard thing. And that's fairly easily machinable as far as like reproducing this, because it's not complex. But I already have this, so it might be easier just to throw a little bead across that and then just chuck it in the lathe and, you know, lathe it down. So anywho, so the journey was not a waste of time. It's a little disappointing because obviously we didn't run as fast as we wanted to. The pass that we went up to for Extreme 28s, the E1 of Extreme 28s, where we didn't even get the pass off. That was the one where I had it pretty whipped up. So I've been leaving on. Yeah, so this is like regular sync week tune. This is the tune that I ran for both qualifiers, pretty much. Generally, like at sync week, I have my first tune. We don't really get any testing, so if the first pass goes down and the number's decent, I just pretty much leave the same tune in it all week, just because I don't want any problems. So this one I had a pretty short boost ramp. Goes straight to 38 pounds dome, which generally makes about 27-ish. That's the other one. That'll make about 27-ish pounds of boost. Let me pull up the data log. So yeah, so we'll go to like our best pass there at sick week. Which was Orlando, yeah, 728. So this is 728, yeah, 728. So this one, 38 pounds dome. Where's my boost? So here's boost. It takes about 0.8 for it to finally make full boost, about 28. Yeah, 28.6. Almost 29 pounds. Pretty much 29 pounds, call it. And it sustains 29, 28, whatever. Pretty much the whole run. Big spinny. That track is a little bit bumpy. Almost lost the tire right there. Very close to losing the tire. So pretty much 28 pounds of boost, right? So we generally leave on, I think it was 11.9, whatever. What was it? 4,400 RPM. Pretty dramatic swing. So whenever I changed injectors, this swing right here tightened up a lot as far as what it does on the two-step, which was the other thing. We also, at Bragging Rights, we had brand new injectors in there, so we were testing quite a few things, which everything besides the fuel pressure was perfect. Okay, so like on this one, we'll go in here and see. We're trying to leave 4,400. No launch retard, anything like that. And then we have our boost ramp. It's pretty aggressive. We're just relying on the turbo itself to spool up. There's some lag time between commanded dome and actual boost pressure. And these turbos take about 0.8-ish. Almost a full second to go from whatever launch boost to full tilt. 29 pounds of boost, which is not a ton either. So anyways, yeah, so go to my table here, my boost builder table. We are trying to make about 12 pounds essentially, and it makes pretty much 12 pounds. So then this was the pass that I was trying to make. Let me move out of this so we're not. So this was like going into E1. I tried before to do the same pass, but I didn't let it build the boost all the way up, so it didn't make enough boost, and it also didn't leave on the RPM I wanted it to. So what I did was I pretty much threw it all in all at once. So I wanted to see what how quick the turbo can spool from launching to like what mechanically it could do. Still the same dome 38, which should have made about 29 pounds of boost, but I did 4,600 RPM launch, trying to, and shorten the boost ramp like we saw, and also on my boost builder I was trying to target 14 pounds of boost. So 200 RPM plus 2 pounds of boost plus changing the boost ramp to everything the turbo can do mechanically as quickly as possible. So we didn't actually make that pass, but what we did have was the pass before that, the Extreme 28s, where I was trying to do that. And I'll just show you how much smoother the two-step is, the swing, with the new FIC injectors. Granted, we didn't actually get to the RPM I was trying to. This is a 120 60 foot, leaving at 4,000, 4,100, whatever. It left, 4,200, 12 pounds of boost. So the boost was 2 pounds shy of what I wanted, and also the RPM was almost 400 RPM shy too. So definitely was not where I wanted to leave as far as boost. But that was a 120 60 foot, which not exactly what I wanted, but anyways, I was trying to get it to leave with a little bit more. So I think if I can get it to leave with what I want, I think we'll pick up a little bit on the front half, but probably not enough to run a 6. If I'm being honest, probably gonna have to change something in the transmission before that'll happen. It's possible. It was a lot warmer. It was like 91 degrees, 2,700 DA, and the water grains were like in the 70s, so it was not very good weather for making power as far as turbo stuff. It was pretty bad, honestly. Considering that I ran a 735 on the same tune-up as Sick Week that ran around a 733, 728, means that it is making more power. It's more consistent with the new injectors. So if we got in some good weather, it's possible that it could run quite a bit better, but how much, I'm not 100% sure. So anyways, we've got to fix the fuel problem. We've got to get a fuel pump in there, and then we got to get back out. We've got a race hopefully at the end of May 28th or something, the Speed Fest. So we'll be on the Sick Week side doing the 750 class. I haven't decided. There's money to be made there, so it may be more conducive for our time to try and run a 750. But then again, if it's running good, I might try to go a little faster. Anyways, yeah. So we got a few things to fix. Injectors are off getting cleaned, and then we're trying to get a fuel pump. And then we'll try and get back out at the end of next month. But anyways, so some good stuff. Some bright side on that was everything else that we tried worked. The injectors work great. The FIC Fuel Injector Clinic 3000s, I really like those injectors. I haven't been able to test them as well as I want, but so far they're really nice injectors. Oil pump worked perfect. The pan, the Blythe built pan, seems to be working just fine. In the pump itself. So just got to get back out there and try it again. Anyways, we'll see you around.